Hello, everybody, and welcome. I have 3 channeled messages from the angelic realm. The angels were really coming through strongly to share these messages with you, so I'm coming through as your messenger. So you can play around with this if you want to listen to all of them. Maybe you feel pulled to message 1, message 2, message 3, all of them, a couple of them. I'm going to leave that up to you with how you want to do this, but I do have 3 messages that they really want to share with you. And they're just like this really high vibrational, pure energy that's coming forward. These messages are timeless, so you can really listen to one now and then maybe come back to it. However you want to do it, it's up to you guys. But these messages are timeless and they're meant to find you whenever you're meant to listen to them. But before we get into this, I just wanted to share something that I've been kind of noticing, playing around with, something that's been coming through strongly before I share the angel messages. The ancestor realm was coming through really strongly, and I felt like I needed to share with somebody these messages or these thoughts, of these information and downloads that were coming through. So I'm sharing it with you guys. Really interesting is that I get this feeling like, it's been happening for a long time, but the ancestors, they're coming through right now. The ancestors are really supporting right now. There's a lot of Passover loved ones that are coming forward to support a lot of people right now. And this has been happening in client sessions and personally, and just something that they've been kind of sharing with me right now. I see a lot of grandmothers. A lot of Passover loved ones want to come forward to help. They want to come forward because they're saying right now, like the ancestors are saying like, hey, we know the drill here. We know the family history. We know we're familiar with it all, right? We want to come forward and help you with it. And really, if anything, just to make you feel less alone. This might make sense to you. It might not, but they're coming forward as like guides and messengers and to, really come forward, and they're saying like, hey, we know the drill here. We know the deal. We know what you're going through. We get it. Like, we've been there. And it kind of gives me that vibe around like, people's different guides that come through, as the ascended masters and goddesses, for example, right? Like the ascended masters, divine masters, I connect with a lot of them, and they can come through, right? They've had human lives. So they kind of know the deal. They can come through and they can really help us. They've had human emotions. They've had human lives, and some pretty intense lives, some of them, but they can come through because they can really understand the human experience. But when it comes to like certain high vibrational angels or celestial guides, a lot of guides haven't had that human life. So they don't fully understand the human emotion as well. And so it kind of gives me that feeling around like, different guides that come through and like your ancestors. It's like, hey, we know the family drill. It's kind of like the ascended masters. Like, we know the human life. We've been through the human emotions. We get humans, right? Whereas galactics and some angels, they've never had a human body. They're high vibrational beings, but they've never actually had a human experience. And so I just wanted to kind of share that with you, is like, lean on them for support. They're here to support you. They're here to guide you. They know the family deal, right? If you're having challenges with family, or if you have, I don't know, just you're moving through something that has related to the family. Maybe you're clearing something, like they're saying, hey, like, we've been through that. Like, we can help you. Like, we get it. We've been in the family. We've been part of the family. And some of them have been the ones that have created these cycles, right? But they're coming forward to really help. And I just wanted to share that with you, because there is a lot of ancestors and passed over loved one support. And the more that I kind of evolve and shift in my own gifts and my own knowledge and evolve as a soul, I just really see like, it's less of this, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like less of this like separation around, or this like big deal of like mediumship and like soul reading and this. It's like, there's less of this like separation around like the types of guides we have and these like rigid rules. I don't really know how to explain it. I think I'm still kind of like playing around with it, but like, it's not as rigid. It's like the right person for the job, so to say, will come through to help in a session or to channel whatever you may be doing. Like, the right person for the job will come forward. And it's less rigid in the way that in which things come through and guides come through and your soul come through. So I just wanted to share that perspective, because some of you may want to connect with your Passover loved one or with your ancestors in some way, but I really noticed that there's a lot of ancestor support. And this has been coming to me for a few days now. And I had a breathwork session yesterday. It was really beautiful. And there were so many ancestors in the room when I was in it. And I was seeing everybody's grandparents and like so many people coming through, and really this strong message of like, hey, we're here to help. We're here to support you. We get you. We've been through it, and they want to share. So I just want to share that with you guys for whatever reason. Sometimes I receive information. I need to like talk it out and share it with someone. So you are the people. You're my people. But it just kind of reminds me, like a couple of years ago, I've been really meaning to share this on a podcast and a video about this because it's important, but I've been sidetracked with other projects that I've had or other downloads that I received to share in my podcast or YouTube or whatever. So it's kind of been pushed along the wayside. But I just very briefly, I went through a really long pregnancy loss. It wasn't a miscarriage. It was different, which it's more complex what happened. But I was carrying the soul for about 6 weeks. And then 2 weeks after we found out that we weren't able to continue the pregnancy. And it was a really hard time. And I remember because the soul that was coming forward, and sometimes the soul will come back, they're meant to have a human life, but the soul that came forward for me, this is before I gave birth to my son, right? It was actually 8 months before I conceived him. I went through this, and the soul said, like, they were a high frequency guide. We can call them an angel. They were just a very high vibrational soul. And they kind of shared with me that they came through as a group and as a collective in a way. There's many reasons for this, but I'll share this one thing. They came through to have a feeling of what it was like to be a human experience without actually having to come to the earth. And they were having it through me as the portal to close and shift something significant for me and the soul and the high vibrational guide. And I remember walking through the forest. I was walking through the forest. All I could do was walk during that time and be out in nature. And I would just go on these long walks. I would drop my daughter off at daycare and I would just walk and I would cry and I would just be in it. And I would communicate to the soul, I would just thank them. And they kind of shared with me, like, if we were to have known, because it was a group, it wasn't just really one. It's hard to explain. It was kind of like a collective. And they're like, if we were to have known how hard that would have been, I'm going to start crying, how emotional this experience would have been. Like, we wouldn't have, it was kind of like that message of, it's hard to convey, but it was like that message of like, if we would have known how much that would have like hurt and how much emotion, because they were able to feel that by being within me, right? By being the portal. It's like, if we were to just understand, like, even first for a glimpse of how painful that was, like, we would have never done that, which not in the right way, but it's the only way I can convey it. But it is true. Like, they haven't had the human emotion and experiences. Yes, they can guide us. But anyways, I just want to share that with you guys. Maybe some of you need to hear this because you're exploring guides in some way. Maybe you're taking Activate Your Channel, Intro to Channeling. I can share that with you. I talk about this, I believe, in the course. You can join it, links in below. But you guys, let's get into the messages. One more thing, I know these are timeless, but if you guys are listening to this at the right time, December 22nd, I'm having a group event. I'll share the link in the show notes to join. Really beautiful event. I really just wanted to bring people together. So I'm excited for this. And if you're listening to it past, that's okay. But let's get into the messages. I'm going to take a sip of water. Take a moment to regroup and feel the energies of the angels that are coming through right now. So you can, again, listen to all of these. Maybe you want to pick message 1, message 2, message 3. I will timestamp it, but maybe you want to listen to them all. So message number 1, they're saying, like, what you are currently doing, or like, I feel like when I get the sense that when you're alone or when you're driving in the car, what you're currently doing is that you're really speaking things into existence. So if you aren't already doing this, this is your sign. This is your message to start to do this. You are in a really powerful portal. You're in a very powerful moment of like co-creating what happens next. It's like you're waiting for the next, but you're also in this weaving path that you're actually the one co-creating the next. And this is really strong in 2026. We're really becoming these like co-creators, but they're saying that You have more say in what happens next. And so I feel like I get the sense that some of you have been praying, some of you have been speaking things out into existence. Some of you may not even know what you're doing, but they want you to know, like, keep going with that, because what you're doing and speaking at it from the present tense, they're saying, because what you're doing is like, we are around you. We, the angels and your guides, are around you, and we are, your desires, your thoughts are not, they're like downloaded. They're messages, they're signs from your higher self. And they're saying that it's this interesting thing where your desires and these thoughts are not random. They're actually very much in alignment with what wants to happen for you and what is happening next. So don't doubt your desires. Don't doubt what you're saying, but they're saying, because I get the sense some of you have been like speaking things out loud and using the power of your word and like really being mindful of what you're saying. And if you're not doing this, this is your sign to start doing this. They're saying like, the portal is open. We are around you. We are listening. Keep going. Keep speaking your desires into reality, they're saying, because this is what's happening. Your prayers have been heard. Your prayers have been noticed. So they want you to know that your prayers have been heard. They're applauding you. They're saying you actually have a very big say in what happens next. You are in a very powerful place of co-creation. It feels less of this rigid timeline and more of this energetic portal of rapidly expanding energy is what I see it as. It feels like less of this like rigid timeline. It feels more of like this spiraling, rapid, expanding energy of co-creation. And I really feel like some of you get to decide what happens next right now. And so this is a really powerful message for you to take this seriously and start to speak these desires into existence. And ask for a little bit more, like bump it up a notch a little bit. You know, when you're like driving in your car or you're like by yourself, you know, whatever you may be doing, going out in nature, whatever you're doing, like speak it out loud. If you have the urge to speak it into existence. Speak it as if it's you're your higher self, your future self, because they're listening to it all. The universe is listening. So this is a really urgent message for you guys, that if you aren't already doing this, or some of you are already doing this, they're saying like, keep going. They're listening, like it's happening. They are listening to you. You are being heard. You are being heard. Some of you have to hear that, because I feel like some of you don't feel like you're being heard. Maybe you don't feel like you've been heard in the past. Maybe you feel like you're not being heard by the people around you or the actions you're taking, but you are being heard, and you're so deeply loved and guided on this path, and you're so deeply supported. And so that message of speaking out loud, and your ancestors are coming through, and your angels are really strongly coming through, and they're saying like, we are surrounding you, we are with you in those moments when you least expect it, in those moments when you're driving in your car and you think you're alone, in those moments in your toughest times. We've been there. You just haven't had the space to realize that we've been there. And just because you go through a challenge doesn't mean they're not there, you know, doesn't mean to lose faith in any way. And this is not saying that. I just want to share that in the past, because I feel like some of you are going, but what about this? But this hasn't happened. And it's like, whoa, we're in a new place here. So I get the feeling like you have no idea how much divine and spiritual support's around you, feathers flying like everywhere, things happening. Notice that, because I get this feeling like loved ones are around you when you're walking around your house, and you might feel that, or feel a presence or a light flicker. Pay attention to all that. And they want you to say like, you are in a very powerful portal of co-creation. So create what happens next. You are the one in charge of creating. It's not about what happens next. It's like you are actually very much, you were very much part of the co-creation phase of what happens next. And this is the way that you're stepping forward in this new realm, in this new paradigm, is that you get to co-create your next reality and your next steps. So I just feel like, listen, your angels are listening. They are listening. Your thoughts, your prayers, your desires, your speaking is actually manifesting. It's manifesting it. So they are listening, and just watch how quickly it can happen. So keep going with that. Exciting. This is really the new paradigm. We are not on this like rigid life happens to us. We actually decide what happens next. And this is really what we're stepping into. So you are being heard. The angels are listening. They're like sitting there and like lifting your prayers up to the God, source, whatever you want to call it. So keep going, because you are literally speaking it into existence. Okay, message number 2. These are really the moments before, and I really feel your future self coming in right now. Your future self is literally looking back on this moment, the moment before it all happens, the moments before, and they're saying like, wow, this is the time that I remember. This is the time. These are the moments that I remember the most, the moments right before it happens, the moments right before the miracles happen, the moment right before the actions that you're taking. Your future self is looking back on this time and going, wow, like soak it all in, soak in this magic, even if it doesn't fully feel magical yet. They're saying like, you're going to look back on this time because this time that you're currently in is so significant. You're going to look back on this time and you're going to remember this time. And these are some of the words that you're going to be speaking to others and teaching others on of this time, the moments that happened before. So it's really a message of the moments before. They're saying that the angels are saying that they're really applauding you. They're applauding you for all that you're doing. They're applauding you for all the actions you have taken. And I feel like even like this message of like, you are taking actions that your past self, it's 11:11 right now. You're taking actions that your past self was like dreaming of doing. And so really like acknowledge where you are right now, acknowledge all the moves you're making, all the steps you have taken, all the energy that you're currently in, because like your past self has been dreaming of doing these moves that you're currently doing, that you're making. So like give yourself a pat on the back, like celebrate yourself a little bit, because like in this new paradigm, I'll be talking about this a lot, but like in this new paradigm, 2026 really strongly, it's like we are not competing with other people. We're competing with ourselves. We're competing to be better versions of ourselves. This is why we have to really keep the blinders on and not pay attention to what other people are doing, and letting go of the subtle competition. Like that is such BS. Like you can feel it. You can feel people who are subtly competing with you, right? We stay focused, okay? Because in this new realm, we're not competing with anyone. We each have our own unique light to bring forward. And I have always felt this way. I've never understood the competing thing. I just don't get it. I've always been a person of trying to be a better version of myself. I've always been striving to compete with myself. And that's why I've always loved doing sports that were like, or challenging myself, my physical body in the past. Like I used to challenge myself in workouts and things like that. It's like, I like to challenge myself, and even like cold plunging. It's like, I like to challenge myself to see what I can do. And that is the energy that you want to stay in this new realm, this new paradigm. This is where you want to be. You don't want to look at what's going on around you. You want to continuously work to elevate your own self and to keep going on your current path, and recognize that like you are doing so much that your past self was dreaming of doing. Like look at your capacity, how much has shifted, and really paying attention to that. So instead of asking and worrying about like what hasn't been, it's like focus on like where you're at right now. And you are being applauded by the higher realms, by the angels, for all that you are doing, for all that you're doing right now, for all the steps that you're taking or will be taking. They're saying so much is happening behind the scenes for you. Like you've been taking action steps, and maybe there's a need for pause for a moment, or maybe you just keep going. You're like, there's something bigger than you that's at play here. But they're saying like so much is happening behind the scenes for you. And so again, there's this message of needing to ask for more than what your current self or your past self was asking for more than your current self thinks they can receive. And I get this like, but it hasn't happened yet, or that amount hasn't, or this hasn't happened. It's like, I hear that, but they're saying like things have shifted so much that you need to ask for more. Why not ask for more? You know, you can up the capacity for what you're asking for. So turn it up a little bit of a notch here and ask for just a little bit more. Like you can ask for more. It's like, it's an infinite source. It's an infinite amount. Like it's abundance. It's infinite. It's your infinite self. Okay. So you've quantum shifted your life. There's something that you've done. You've quantum shifted your life in ways that you cannot fully understand. And you're still kind of in this transformation maybe, but like you've quantum shifted your life, so you can ask for more, you can receive more. You're capable of so much more. Your new self requires boldness and to ask for more and to receive more and to command more for yourself. Your future self is asking you to speak from that place. And I'm really feeling a lot of Lyran energy and in the angels, Lyran, galactic, celestial energies. They're such a powerful force. And they're really saying like, ask for more, receive more. You are royal. You are worthy. If you feel a moment to pause, like if you're like, okay, I think I've done it all. I think I'm at capacity. If you need to have like a moment to pause, work with the field of energy and with flow a little bit, because they're saying like, if you move up against it, like, I don't even know what to do next. Like I'm here, I'm kind of tired or whatever it may be. They're saying that's your sign to just take a moment to pause. It's because you've done all that you needed to do up to this point, and now there's a higher orchestration that is beyond what you can fathom. Like these angels are applauding you, and they're just like coming forward really strongly, and seeing like flashes in my room, like flashes of light with my eyes. Really high vibrational angels. But they're saying that's just your sign to like pause and wait for the next step or wait for you to receive. It's because they're taking care of the rest in some way. Like they're saying pause before receiving. And it's your place to just go, okay, I've done all I can do. I've done this. And now you have to let yourself receive. If you've taken all the action steps, you've done all the things, and you're trying to like scramble to figure out more, it's like, no. It's actually just your time to pause, to receive. It doesn't have to be a long pause, but it's just like, it's now time, they're saying, to open up your arms to receive. So can you sit there and receive? And that's your action step. It's like, open your arms to receive. Let the universe catch up to where you are now. Let the universe catch up to all those steps, because I'm kind of getting the sense that you've sped things up a little bit by taking that aligned action. We want to take action from an aligned place, not from like a scrambled place of like keeping up and It's not going to happen that way. So they're saying like, you've done what you needed to do from this place. Now you just need to open up your arms and receive and let the universe catch up. Because in this new paradigm, the universe works in a really mysterious way, right? That's the way it works. It's like when you feel like you've done all the action steps, the aligned action steps, that's your sign to be like, okay, now a force greater than my own, God, the universe, is going to come forward and move this thing further for me than I can do on my own, right? So let the universe catch up. I get the sense that some of you have taken action steps quicker than, or done the things that were like, it's almost like your soul like wasn't expecting you to do it, or was expecting you to take longer to do something, but you actually like quantum shifted here. And I was like, whoa, she's serious. Like she's serious. Like, or he's serious. They've done it. They've done it all. And now it's like, okay, let the universe catch up. Like you've actually quantum leaped, quantum shifted your life. And now it's just about receiving the next steps, because that's just the way the universe works in this new way. So it's about understanding how the universe works. You've done something quicker than expected. And now it's just your time to like open up and receive and sit back and let yourself receive and wait for kind of like the next movement to happen. So it's really about intentional aligned action, and not from this forceful way of doing this or need to do more. It's actually like working with flow and the universe and the way the universe works a little bit more, working with the divine laws, they're saying. And it's about taking intentional aligned action and not this like force catching up anymore. It's not the way it works. So that's exciting. I feel like just take it all in, because these are really the moments before it happens, the moments before it clicks, a breakthrough, or things really shift for you, things really speed up and escalate for you in some way, before things can really drop in out of nowhere, really. So I'm really getting the sense that like your future self is looking back and being like, thank you, like you did it. Like this is the moments I remember. So take it all in, enjoy it all. All right. This brings me to message number 3, and some of you in message number 2 might resonate with this. Message number 3 is really about the need to pause before responding. Do you see what I just did there? I took a deep breath in, I let it all out, and I paused before proceeding into the next message. They're saying like, take a moment to breathe before doing or before responding. Now, this is a great holiday tip or just a great tip in general. It's also in these moments where a lot of clarity will come. So if you are looking for clarity, the clarity is coming in your ability to pause and take a deep breath before proceeding. Slowing down the pace a little bit through your breath. You can use your breath to bring down your energy. You can use your breath to calm down any frantic energy, but there's a need to pause before responding, before taking action, before, in the responding, there's many different ways that we can see this, right? So taking a moment to pause before a habitual response or way of doing so that you can break patterns and break the loop of doing things. So say you get a message from someone and maybe it's a trigger, maybe you got realizations about something and you get a message from the person. Well, congratulations, you likely cut a cord, but not necessarily. But just say you had some realizations and now you get a message or someone triggers you, or not even a trigger. I don't even want to relate it to that. But your habitual response is to respond right away, or to offer right away, or to right away. That go-to action that you commonly do. Why don't you instead take a moment to take a deep breath and exhale, maybe take a few days or whatever it may be, to get really centered in your truth, in your alignment before responding, or maybe not even responding. It's really up to you. But that is where we need to pause before I'm getting there's a lot of energies that pull. So they're used to you responding in a certain way, or it's just a pattern. It's very under the surface, but this is where you need to take a moment to breathe and pause and recenter yourself and align with your true self, your infinite self, your soul's highest truth before taking action, before responding, taking a beat before that habitual response. So maybe you're going into a family situation, maybe holidays, whatever it may be. Instead of getting triggered by something, take a moment to breathe before reaction. And that's mindfulness, right? That's breathing, that's slowing down, that's really coming at it from a new place rather than from an old pattern and dynamic. Because you've shifted, you've grown, you've evolved, and now it's just about breaking patterns now. So maybe even some of you need to pause to make sure that your action steps are coming from a very aligned place. So maybe there is a brief pause right now happening because a lot of you are receiving a lot of new guides coming in. And these guides they're saying they require a different energy from you and they require a different pace from you to really, when you're working with them, is they are delivering you your next step shortly, but there might be a brief pause before that next step comes in. You have to trust that the next step is going to come in, that next aligned action is going to come in. So if something feels unknown, it's not a scary thing. It's just your moment to take a breath and you can watch how quickly the next step can come, but don't overthink the next step. They require a different energy and almost a different pace from you. And that you are also currently preparing for that pace, for that shift in energy, for that shift in pace, and to work with them in a new way. So it is, again, there's similarities between message 2 and 3, but it is around aligning with a higher current, higher flow, and working with energy in a different way. So it's about aligned action and taking those steps that your guides are either delivering right now or about to be. So pausing to generate energy, because there's a new pace that you're going to be moving from. And it's you were preparing for that new pace. So some of you, maybe you had some realizations about a situation or an experience. Just take a pause before you decide to respond or doing that thing that you normally do out of habit. Can you pause and take a moment to breathe? And maybe taking a couple of days before you know what to do next, before you know how to proceed in going forward. So maybe something comes up into your field and you feel like you get caught up in the energy of it, of that person or that thing or that energy of the habitual thing. Can you pause for a moment there and just let yourself be in that energy of discomfort? Maybe it's discomfort because you're what do? I don't know what to do. Just take a moment to pause and breathe. And if you need, take a couple days or a couple weeks before responding or knowing what to do. And maybe you'll find that in a couple days or a day or by the end of the day, you might already know what to do, or you might already know how to proceed or what to say, but I feel like you guys have closed down a lot of things. So it's just about like breaking the pattern at this point. Letting you be the energy and the new standard of how this relationship or dynamic flows, and not coming at it from this old place of like powerlessness, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of you are really stepping into your power, and you are sort of setting the pace for how others treat you, or how the boundaries here that you're ready to instill or place. So take a moment to pause. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Just an FYI, you don't owe anyone an explanation. So maybe, like, a lot of you have closed out portals. So if you're hearing from someone, or there's a situation that you really gain clarity on in your time of pause, or over the past few months, you gain some clarity around a situation, and then there they are, they appear. The situation appears. You know how to respond, and you don't have to respond. And you also don't owe an explanation. And I feel like you have to trust in what you know. You have to just kind of breathe it in and be in the discomfort of it all, because it's like not a test, but it kind of does feel like you're being tested a little bit, but you're being tested because you already know the answer and you're breaking through already. You just have to work through the discomfort of the people pleasing, or the responding in the old way, or whatever it may be, because you're like breaking through it. And I feel like the more that you pause and have a leg between response or reaction, the more that you take a moment to pause and just breathe in and recenter yourself and stay aligned with your highest truth and the truth that has been revealed to you, rather than getting sucked into old dynamics and energy, you're just going to be in that new frequency, and you're just going to know what to do. Like, I think that it's really a non-issue, that you're like, in like a few weeks from now, it's like, you're going to be like, oh, that's not even an issue. Like, I don't even care. And that's the place where you want to kind of be in, not from this like scrambled, like, what do I do kind of energy. You just want to take a pause to breathe and trust in what you know, trust in what was revealed to you, trust in the old dynamics that are crumbling or whatever. And you set the pace for how people treat you in this new frequency and how you respond. So if you're pausing, again, just to wrap this up, if you are in a bit of a pause, it's because the universe, you've taken all the action steps you've needed to take, and the universe is matching your newfound pace. It's almost like, I've seen this before a lot with clients, where it's like you close down something so big karmically, or you take action steps that they thought you would take longer to take, but you did it a lot quicker, and they're like, whoa, who's this person? Who dis? And it's like the universe is just like reorganizing itself to match where you've been and this new energy. And it's really at a high vibrational path than before. So a new path is being revealed to you at a different pace. New guides are coming forward that ask a different energy of you. It asks for like a bit of a mastery energy. They're going to be delivering you some steps and some guidance. So pause and receive and replenish whatever you need to do. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed these messages. I would love to hear in the comments of what messages you guys got, what messages landed for you. Maybe all of them did. I'd love to hear what you got, if not all. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will speak to you in the next video.